Hello everyone, welcome to the series of Indianomics. Today's topic of discussion is the Monetary Policy Committee. Now, recently there was a meeting of Monetary Policy Committee, and under this background only we have taken this topic. That means we are going to discuss about the key decisions taken at the Monetary Policy Committee, under which background this Monetary Policy Committee was held, what was expected from the Monetary Policy Committee, what exactly is the meaning of monetary policy. All these things are going to be taken in this discussion. Now, this Monetary Policy Committee meeting was under the challenge of low growth and high inflation. Please understand this thing. Growth and inflation are like water and oxygen for the economy. They both are very important for an economy to develop. In fact, for an economy to sustainably develop, there is a need of high growth, and there is a need of controlled inflation. Now, when I consider the situation of India, we expect that 4 plus minus 2% is the level that should be maintained. That means the level of inflation should be between 2 and 6%. So this is the expectation. And growth, we expect that more than 8% growth is sustainable for the Indian economy, considering the potential and the economic variability in our country. So what is happening recently? Recently we have seen that the growth is decreasing and inflation is increasing. That means these both are not in favor of Indian economy. If I talk about the numbers, you can see these numbers, that how after 2019, inflation is increasing. Inflation has reached around 7.35%. As I said that we need a sustainable range of 2 to 6%, and it is already very high. If I talk about the real GDP, what is real GDP? GDP minus inflation. This is a real assessment of the economic growth in the country. You can see that how after 2017 it has been decreasing, and because of COVID in 2019, there is a free fall. And there is a condition of crisis in the Indian economy. So neither the growth factors are in favor of RBI, nor inflation factors are in favor of RBI. This is the background. Now please understand this fact that Monetary Policy Committee. What is Monetary Policy Committee? Now it is made up of two words: monetary policy. So this is one point of discussion, and there is a committee. That means in committee, in a general perspective, in a committee we have certain members. So this Monetary Policy Committee was formed in 2016. You need to remember this date, 2016. Monetary Policy Committee came into existence, and Monetary Policy Committee is made up of 6 members. It is made up of 6 members, where 3 members are from the government and 3 members are from RBI. That means there is an equal membership. Now the chairperson is RBI governor only. There are 2 other members. It is called as an institution of convergence. Why institution of convergence? Because when the interference of the government in the economy, I would rather say that intervention of the government in the economy, interference would not be a very good word. Intervention of government in the economy, that is called as fiscal policy, and role of RBI is called as monetary policy. So there is one institution, this is RBI, there is another institution which is called government. It is the convergence between two. You have both the membership of government as well as RBI. That is why it is called as an institution of convergence. Okay. Now, if you want to see the members, you can see the members that RBI governor is the chairperson. Second member is RBI. Now this is the deputy governor. Deputy governor in charge of monetary policy. There is one more RBI official, and this official has to be appointed by official has to be appointed by RBI board. RBI board. RBI board appoints one more RBI official. That means these are the 3 members. Now there are 3 more members. These are, selected by a committee. There is a separate committee for selecting these members. The chairperson of this committee is cabinet secretary. The chairperson of this committee is cabinet secretary. So this is a search cum selection committee. Anyone can be the member who is having the knowledge of economy and statistics. That's why, this if I talk about the situation of current, monetary policy committee, one member is from Statistical Institute, one member is of statistics, another member is from IIM, he is a professor of IIM, and one professor from Delhi School of Economics. Delhi School of Economics. So these are 3 members which have knowledge of economics. They are selected by the government committee, which is headed by the cabinet secretary. Okay, so this is monetary policy committee. If I talk about monetary policy, so monetary policy is something which manages the money supply. Monetary means money supply. It manages the money supply. So there are certain tools. Tools means the methods. Tools means method. So monetary policy is a policy which ensures the money supply. Which institution is the premier here? The RBI is the premier institution here. It ensures the money supply in the economy. The method of the monetary policy, that is called tool. They are categorized into 2 forms. One is quantitative, another is qualitative. Quantitative means either increasing or decreasing the money supply in the economy. Qualitative tool is when, the money supply is constant. So if you are increasing or decreasing the money supply in the economy, you are using the quantitative tool. These quantitative tools are SLR, CRR, rates are also there, long term and short term rates. Short term rates like repo rate, marginal starting facility, reverse repo rate. Repo rate is the most important rate, it is called as policy rate. Long term rates is called as bank rate. So this about these tools, we are going to discuss about these tools in a separate discussion. That is not my part of discussion right now. Here I want to talk about the qualitative tools. Qualitative tools are also divided into 3 parts. One is margin requirements, another is moral suasion, third one is selective credit control. So if I talk about these qualitative tools, they basically keep the money supply constant. Okay, money supply keeping the money supply constant, then how you're going to manage the money supply in the economy? Please understand this thing. RBI is neither injecting money in the economy nor is withdrawing money from the economy. RBI is keeping this thing constant, but RBI is giving instructions to the bank, because RBI is also a regulator of the bank. RBI is also the regulator of the bank. So under that role, RBI can give certain directions to the bank, and RBI is giving directions to the bank to either increase or decrease the money supply. I am not going to increase or decrease. You have to do this thing, because I feel that you have enough amount of liquidity with you. I have provided you with the liquidity. So it is now your responsibility to ensure a sustainable amount of money supply in the economy. So this is basically an instruction. Okay. So these are the basically 2 types of the monetary policy. I will have a separate discussion about these tools individually. My point of discussion today is about the key announcement which is being taken on the monetary policy committee meeting. The most important announcement was that the repo rate was unchanged. Please understand this fact. From 2016 January, continuously the RBI is decreasing the repo rate. From 6.5, you can see that from 6.5, it is decreasing it continuously to 4%, and now it has kept it constant. Because the reason is what? Reason is you don't know the trend of inflation. You don't know how COVID is going to affect further, because the cases are increasing, and you don't know the situation of GDP. Now, if you want to increase the GDP, you need to inject the liquidity. Now, there is enough amount of liquidity in the economy. That means banks have liquidity, because from January 2018 to you can see that 2020, continuously the rates are decreased. That means there is enough amount of liquidity with the banks. they are not passing the liquidity to the, corporates or the economy, potential, contributors to the economy, because they fear that money is not going to come back, because already their NPA level is very high. Already their NPA level is very high. So that was the reason. Now the second point is inflation trend. We have seen that how the inflation is increasing in the economy. I have also given you the numbers, if you remember, how inflation was increasing. So based on that discussion, you can see the numbers, how inflation is increasing. It has increased to 7.35%. So if the inflation is increasing and you don't know the impact of COVID, how the impact of COVID is going to affect, the situation of the demand in the economy, so it is very difficult right now to take the decision on inflation. So that's why RBI has decided to keep the rate of interest constant. Okay. The second important announcement was a restructuring of MSME. Restructuring of an MSME means what? MSME is highly affected by the COVID crisis. So their loans are turning out to be a non-performing asset. So here RBI is talking about a restructuring of the loan. Restructuring means, making changes in the structure of the loan, either principals, or loan is composed of two things, principal and the second one is interest. Yes. So either you reduce the principal amount, or you reduce the interest amount, or you moderate them. Please understand this fact that, say for example, you have to give me 100 rupees as a principal and 10 rupees as the rate of interest. That means 110 is your installment amount. I can say that you give me 50, and you can give me rate of interest as, for example, 5, and I can increase your number of installments so that you can pay the installment, properly, because currently you don't have your income. So this is called as restructuring. So the RBI has talked about, restructuring of MSME. Now there is also a concept of priority sector lending. So what is done in this concept? What is priority sector lending? Basically, every bank has to give 40% of their loans to priority sector. Now what are these priority sectors? These priority sectors are generally decided by the government through executive action, and they keep on changing. Like for example, recently startups and renewable energy has been added under the priority sector lending. So this was one important change. Another was a weightage in favor of neglected district. That means out of this 40%, you need to give more money to the neglected districts which are affected by COVID or other important crisis. Say for example, suddenly there is a jump of migration in that district. So that's why you need to give more loan to those areas, priority sector lending. Okay. So this is also one important change which is being done in priority sector lending norms. Now there is also a special liquidity facility of 10,000 crore rupees for NABARD and Housing Bank. Now NABARD is going to support the microfinance institution, and National Housing Bank is going to support the national housing companies. Okay, so these housing companies and microfinance institutions are severely affected by the COVID crisis. So this basically this special liquidity facility of 10,000 crore rupees, of 5,000 crore rupees equally for both NABARD and National Housing Bank, because NABARD supports the microfinance institutions and National Housing Bank supports the housing companies. So basically a special liquidity facility for all those companies which are in stress right now. So for supporting them, RBI has made this policy. I hope you might have got this point. Now margin requirement, as I said that margin requirement was one kind of qualitative tool, if you remember, qualitative tool. Here the money supply is constant. What happens is, say for example, you put your gold and the gold value is 100 rupees in the market, and you want this gold to be kept as collateral in the bank, and you expect that bank should give you loan on that collateral. So the bank will never give you loan equivalent to the market value. Bank will always keep a margin. Okay, say for example margin is 40%. So the bank will give you only 60 rupees as the loan. This is called as margin requirement. Now here RBI is not giving money to the bank. RBI is only giving the instruction that how much margin you can keep of this category of gold. And that is why I have been discussing this example, because the jewelry sector, jewelry sector is being affected, and it is being said that loan to value amount, that means now the margin is 10%. That means if you keep your asset equal to 100 rupees, you can get the loan of 90 rupees. So the margin has been decreased by RBI. This is a qualitative tool discussion which is being taken in the Monetary Policy Committee recommendation. Okay, so margin requirement of the jewelry sector has been reduced so as to provide more money to the jewelry sector. Okay, now this was the important discussion which was done today. RBI also discussed about few important facts. RBI, that means through Monetary Policy Committee, it said that monetary policy transmission is being done now because RBI is reducing the rate of interest and huge amount of liquidity has entered the market because NBFC, microfinance institutions, these are getting money now, MSME. So since RBI had been reducing the rate of interest from 2018 itself, and it is being seen that there is enough amount of liquidity in the market. This is called as monetary policy transmission. So RBI is saying that monetary policy transmission is done properly now. This was one concern of RBI. Second was that the real GDP outlook for 2021 is negative. That means GDP minus inflation. Inflation is going to be high, GDP is going to be low. So it is going to be negative in 2021. That means the real GDP outlook is negative. Inflation is going to be high. And RBI also mentioned about one important point, and that point was there is a divergence between the financial markets and the economic activity. Now, what is this divergence and what divergence RBI is talking about? Financial market basically, say for example, stock market. So it has been seen that although the economic activity is not there, although the GDP is decreasing, although the GDP is decreasing, but the stock market investments is increasing. So there is a huge amount of investment which is entering the stock market. So stock market is a financial market. So through stock market, every company borrows money and reinvests the same money in the economy. So economic activity is not able to perform, but financial markets is having huge amount of money. There is huge entrance of the new investors in the stock market. So that is why there is a divergence between the economic activity and the financial market. This is a very important point to be noted for 2020 financial year. Merchandise of export for the fourth consecutive quarter, it has turned out to be negative. That means the export percentage is negative. The increase in the export, say for example, earlier the export was increased by 5%. Now the export is reduced by 6% as compared to this year. So the merchandise exports is showing a negative performance. So that is also one important factor which is affecting the economy of the country. And certainly if the world economy is facing crisis, how can you export something in the market? So that's a challenging point. And what is the stand of RBI? Stand of RBI is accommodative. Accommodative means that a special loan facility. We have discussed this point for MSME and housing companies. RBI is eternal optimistic because of the expectation of a vaccine in the near future. So that is why RBI is eternal optimistic. RBI thinks that the situation is going to rebound very fast. And RBI expects its role as dynamic, proactive and balanced. Balance means what? A balance between growth and inflation. Proactive means without waiting for the crisis, if I can ascertain that, if I can forecast that there is an expected crisis, then proactive. Dynamic means what? Going to support the every factor like microfinance institution, MSME, big corporate, NBFC, housing companies. My role has to be dynamic. Okay, so this is an important stand of RBI. Now you would be discussing that how to apply the logic that we had studied, because the logic is very different. So how we are going to apply this logic? So I'm going to tell you that how to use these kinds of news, because when you don't find out, when you think that how I am going to find out how to apply the meetings, please understand this thing. See, in interview, they can ask you one question. What do you think? What should be the role of RBI in COVID crisis or the similar kind of economic crisis? What do you think? So, if you think from the perspective of RBI, you need to think about every sector. MSME, you have seen that how RBI is supporting MSME. Then you need to think about non-banking finance company. You need to take initiatives for non-banking finance company. You need to talk about the banks which are facing the financial crisis. So you can talk about the repo rate here. And expected role of RBI in these situations should be proactive, balanced, and balanced plus dynamic. So these are the keywords which help you to write answers in a better format. So whenever the meeting is done, actually the meeting is solving a problem. So maybe the problem is of 2019, 2020, but these problems are in, if you talk about the structure of these problems, whenever they affect the MSME sector, NBFC sector, banks, other areas. So many a times when someone asks the question in interview, for example, what should be the role of RBI in this situation? People think only from the perspective of bank. You also need to think from the perspective of NBFC, MSME, housing companies, because RBI role is to maintain the amount of liquidity in the economy. Okay, so maybe Monetary Policy Committee is going, this news may not be important, all the factual point of this news may not be important by the time you're going to write your mains examination, and that is why I have not mentioned any factual number. I have not mentioned about the percentage or something else. I only talked about the important concepts like repo rate. There should be special facility of loan facility for NBFC, MSME through the NABARD and now National Housing Bank. There should be a restructuring of loan of MSME because they support the economy. So these kind of opinions are common and expected to write a balanced answer in UPSC. Okay, so this is the application. This is how you're going to apply these things in the examination. Now, based on the today's topic of discussion, you need to answer one question in the comment box very sincerely with reference to the Monetary Policy Committee of India, Monetary Policy of India, sorry, which of the following statements are correct? 1. Monetary Policy Committee is the apex institution for implementation of monetary policy in our country. Second, in 2020, the repo rate has steadily decreased. Third, the monetary policy has the primary objective to ensure economic growth. Fourth, all the decisions regarding the monetary policy will be taken by the Monetary Policy Authority. That means Monetary Policy Committee. And fifth, the governor of RBI is appointed as per the provisions of RBI Act 1934. So you need to answer this question in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll meet again with some next important news. This news was big because I had to discuss a lot of points here. I hope you might have understood those points and you might have make the notes which is going to help you out in examination. Thank you so much. We'll meet again.